So with less than 2 weeks to go until Fresno State plays Kansas, I think now's the time to make a prediction on the win-loss record for the Bulldogs for this upcoming season. Spoiler alert, I am a biased Fresno State fan, so I am going to try and predict a best-case scenario record. Now, it'll be realistic-ish. I'm not going to predict them to go 12-0 with a conference championship into the playoffs, although that would be something special to see. But I'm not going to go there. All right. This is a season with a lot of unknowns. This is not like 2013, 18, and 22 where we knew from the start the Bulldogs were going to win double-digit games and win the conference. All right. This is a whole new team. New head coach, new quarterback, a lot of new players on defense with Phoenix Jackson gone, Magdalena, Tunzi, Nora. So many new players are going to have to step up this year, and we really don't know how they're going to look. All right. But the nation is going to get an early look at the Bulldogs at Kansas on August 23rd at 3:30 Fresno time on Big Fox, so everybody in the country can watch it. It's during week 0. There's only 5 college football games, something like that. So if you are a college football fan, you got a chance to watch the Dogs. All right. Now, is Kansas a team that Fresno State historically could not beat? No, I put Kansas in the range of a Purdue or Illinois, a team that, yes, is in a power league, but it would not be a monumental upset if the Bulldogs won that game. That said, in fairness, because this is a new team, I have the Bulldogs losing that game, all right? But I do believe it will be a competitive game, and I think it'll be a one-score game going into the fourth quarter, but I have the Bulldogs starting the season off 0-1. Next season, they play Georgia Southern at home, opener at 6:30, so it's going to be hot. It'll start at 6:30 Fresno time on FS1, so a lot of people can watch the game. It's not part of basic cable networks and so forth, but you should be able to watch this one. An interesting thing about this game is the head coach. Clay Helton used to coach at USC, obviously, and the week after, they go to the Coliseum and face the Trojans. I think if you would give him a truth serum, he would say, I want to beat the Trojans more than he wants to beat the Bulldogs. And they are a solid program, but I have the Bulldogs winning this one 1-1 after 2 games. Then, next week, they go to Oregon State, 12:30 time, on a CW, a game everybody can watch in the middle of the afternoon, at a future conference made in Oregon at the Beavers, and I do believe the Bulldogs will win this one. So I have them going 1-1 against the big games in their out-conference schedule. Next week, September 15th, they're playing the Southern Panthers, I think they're called, the team below at FCS level. They've not announced the start time, but that'll probably be around 7 o'clock, 7:30. It's going to be hot in September, so it's very unlikely they'll have a game start at 12:30. I mean, last time they had a September game start before the evening, they had shoes melt on the field, literally. So I have the Bulldogs going 3-1 at their first 4 games, looking pretty good. Then, sadly, I have them losing at Hawaii, all right? Now, this is a team from last year, more or less, returning. I would have that revenge factor putting them over the top, but they don't have that. They have a new head coach who's never done the trip to Hawaii before, and that rock can cause a lot of problems for a team that's unprepared. Last time the Bulldogs went to the rock, they lost, and they were ranked. It was a couple weeks after that dramatic win at UCLA in 2021. I think they lose this one going to the bye at 3-2. Next week, the next game is October 4th against Nevada. I think Nevada has also come up a bye week that week. So it'll be very interesting. There'll be a 7:30 time on CBS Sportsnet, which is the absolute worst. All right, if you have a team who's rarely on that, you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully in the Pac, that won't be the case even with that CBS deal. Hopefully the Mountain West eats that up. So it'll be a 7:30 Fresno time. If you're a Bulldogs on the East Coast, that'll be a tough watch. But I think the Bulldogs beat the Wolfpack. I think that's the one they handle business with. They usually do beat the Wolfpack unless, barring they have a Colin Kaepernick, or it's just a big letdown Bulldog team. Next week, they play on a Friday at Colorado State, another future Pac-12 opponent. Short week on a Friday on CBS Sportsnet. I want to be fair, so I have to have this one as a loss. Tough road trip against a solid club in the Rams. That's one that I think they lose. So at this point, I have them going, was it 5-2 at this point, something like that. Then they get a bye week again. Then they host San Diego State, another team that's joining the pack with them. Last time they came to Fresno State, it was a very memorable game. On 15 points in like under 2 minutes in 2022. That's gonna be a blackout for some reason. I have no idea why you have a blackout hosting San Diego State. I understand it's Halloween week, but come on, guys, really, come on. That's not gonna bug them. We don't know time yet. It's gonna be on one of the FS1 Fox channels. I believe it'll be a 7:30 kickoff time on FS2 because the World Series or Major League Baseball might be playing at that point. So you're not gonna be on Fox. Maybe FS1 at 7:30, but I think it'll be on FS2 at 7. Then next week they go to Boise for the last time they play a regular season game outside California. Bulldogs have won the last 2 times they've gone to Boise. At least the last 2 times they've. Last time in 2020 they beat at Boise. They won 2 conference championships there. I gotta be fair though. I think the Broncos win this one. I think that the Malik Sherrod will unfortunately have a big game, former dog who's now playing at Boise. I mean, that's just the way things work with Fresno State. So I think he will have a big game, regardless of how effective he is the rest of the year. And I think the Broncos pull this one out. And after that, they finish 2 straight games on the road. They home. They play Wyoming at November 15th on Fox station to be determined. We don't know what time it is yet. I'm sure the university would love to play at 4 o'clock. But I think that, unless the Bulldogs are undefeated at this point, they will play on FS1 at 7:30. It's just the way it works. They finish the regular season off playing Utah State. Bronco Mendenhall will probably have that team playing really, really well, like he had in New Mexico, playing much better than last year than at the start when the Bulldogs faced the Lobos. That's going to be a tough matchup against the future pack mate. But I think the Bulldogs pull this one out. It'll be a slogfest. It'll be one Bulldog fans not necessarily happy about watching, but they do get the job done. And that game will probably not be very full. If the Bulldogs are 7-4 coming in that one, I'm sure at the start will look decent, but at the end, 7:30 kickoff time against Utah State on CBS Sports Net, yeah, that one's going to be pretty empty at the end of the game. All right? Then they end the year at San Jose State, to be determined time-wise and to be determined on channel-wise on one of the Foxes. Again, I think that'll be on FS1 at 7:30 at the Spartans. That could have a revenge factor, if not for the fact that the Bulldogs are set to play the Spartans numerous times in the upcoming years as our conference opponent. So that kind of, grudginess is lessened to a certain extent. I think the Bulldogs win this one. They generally beat the Spartans when they have a good team, and I think 7-4 they have a good team. Only twice have I seen the Spartans beat the Bulldogs in seasons that really matter for Fresno State. So I think the Bulldogs will beat San Jose State, and I think you will see more Bulldog fans there than Spartan fans there, okay? They got half a stadium. If you are someone who, not a Bulldog fan, just go to this channel, understand this about San Jose State. They have half a stadium. They generally draw flies. There's a reason why you're leaving them behind, all right? But that's for another video. So, summing up, I have the Bulldogs go at 8-4. Obviously, that would be into a bowl game. What bowl game that would be? I don't know. Probably somewhere like New Mexico, Arizona, something like that, some crappy bowl game that is better than nothing, but it's not the Holiday Bowl, it's not the Sun Bowl, it's not one of those bowls that actually are somewhat good. So, the Bulldogs, if my record is right and we win the bowl game, we'll finish 9-4 manner in his first year, which would be a really good start. It would certainly be more than credible. Certainly have you build up momentum if they play the offense they want to play. Bryson Donaldson, he has the year he's capable of, and he stays at Fresno State. We'll hype things up. So we'll see what happens this upcoming year. I have them going 8-4, as I said. I'll probably go in more detail about the opponents as the season goes on. But this team could also start out 0-3. Let's get this out of the way right now. Okay, that is a tough opening stretch. 1-3 is certainly a possibility, but I don't think so. But if you got any feelings about the upcoming schedule, want to put your records down in the comment section below, please do that, Bulldog fans. We're Bulldog born, Bulldog bred, Bulldog till the day we're dead.